owners.
My new connections. Again, my Inca Empire, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, here live on Facebook. You can help me save the world or possibly destroy it. Join the Empire here today. Don't forget to check me out. It's the J.A.W.show.
Hey, Stacy, this is the J.A.W.show today. Welcome to the show. This is the J.A.W.show. Welcome to my show.
Thank you, Joshua. Pleasure being here today. We are still going in and out. So
we have some issues there. Those evil people just trying to take over my program once again. So we'll have to work through it as best as we can.
All right, we'll make it work.
Sorry, my lovely wife, sometimes co-host here, giving me a little bit of the jibber jabber for 5 seconds, so I had to switch mute. Anyway, so I'd like to say welcome to the show. So I would like to learn a little bit more about you. So give us the 411 about what it is, what you do.
Joshua, I'm having a hard time hearing you. You're going in and out like before.
Let me see, does that clear it up better now?
Yes. Are we still being recorded?
Okay, good. I stopped sharing the screen, so hopefully that'll be working a little bit better now.
Okay, all right.
Okay, now that I've got my room back here. So now that we've got a better picture and we can actually communicate better, so I'd like to officially welcome you back onto the show again. So maybe we'll edit a little bit of that out, but maybe keep it, who knows?
Thank you. I appreciate
guess
that.
I would like to know a little bit about a little bit more about who you are and what it is you do. So,
well, first, let me just share a little bit about my background. I was a business owner, ran a business for over 15 years. I had a learning center in the Torrance in the Rancho Palos Verdes area. And when 2008 hit, I found myself really struggling to keep the business going with supplemental education. And so I then started in the financial industry. At first, I started with helping families build their financial future, finding out where they are, where they want to go, and just helping them create a plan to help them get there. I also learned that with the same license, I could help business owners. And so I started to learn from a broker how to meet the needs of business owners and implement strategies to help them run their businesses more profitably and address some of the concerns that they had as business owners. And so I started working as a benefits broker, going in and setting up their major medical plans and the supplemental company that I work with is Aflac. I'm sure you're familiar with Aflac, the crazy duck. And that was my major focus for several years, was just focusing on, just medical and supplemental insurance, and then also and strategies to help the business owner implement to address their workforce concerns. During the pandemic, though, I realized that I was connecting with a lot of B2B providers, and I reevaluated what resources I actually had to provide or to, for business owners. And so I rebranded myself as a business resource specialist, because not only do I do benefits, but I also look for ways to, identify companies they may qualify for state and federal tax incentives. And so, which I thought was what it was exactly small business owners needed to be able to infuse cash back into their business. And so I added that on as a service as well. And then I also started connecting with other B2B providers that I felt would be a good resource for my clients and future clients to help them build their, run their businesses more profitably. So hence, that's where I'm at as today as a business resource specialist, just looking to just be that resource for business owners to run their businesses and keep them going.
All right, and where are you based out of so that people, because I'm in Minnesota and then we're different time zones because we had a little bit of working out timing wise to go.
Right.
So where can people find you, Nate?
I am in Fullerton, California. However, I have clients that are all over the states because I can work on Zoom. So Zoom has just opened up a whole new environment and experience for me to connect with business owners and entrepreneurs outside of California. So are you familiar
Yeah,
where,
and
what was that?
I said I was just gonna let you finish there.
No, no, no. I mean, think about it. We connected through Zoom. I mean, I think
Right.
before the pandemic, people had this limited mindset that they had to work within their own communities or at least a radius around their area. Now it's like the sky is the limit. I love it. I can go anywhere.
Yeah.
So
The main watch your pandemic can really shift your perspective way. Like, at the movie theater, I wanted to go spend all my money to go see that big movie. All I have to do wait now is maybe 2 to 3 months, and I see that same movie come out on one of the things I'm streaming anyway. You know,
right,
and
right.
then we get to do this kind of communication too, where this show was born out of the pandemic. It was born because I was tired of sitting at home doing nothing, saying, how can I change the world from my bedroom or my little office here? How can I impact the world? How can I possibly do that? Well, why don't I have a show that basically tells people, hey, we can make a difference, even if it is from our little
I,
cubicle here sometimes,
that's how I think a lot of Zoom or virtual networking opportunities came up. Both of you and I belong to are members of Music Network Guang MNO, but you're um, in a different chapter than I am, and so and that's how we've connected because of that. But it's it's nice to get back in person, but it's wonderful to know that my net can stretch anywhere because of you know
Right.
virtual meetings, the access
Yeah,
to
I was
virtual
very
meetings.
fortunate. It was nice to have someone from a completely different area, not Midwest MNO, but was it California or LA MNO out there? Or?
Is there an MNO? Oh yeah, the OC Rockstars. I'm part of OC Rockstars, and the main office is in Tustin, and so but I do believe we may have somebody that's not even in California that's in our chapter. I may or not be, but it what's wonderful is wherever you see that business is there for you, whoever you feel you can serve, doesn't matter where they live, just make it happen.
Right.
Connect virtually and keep it going.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
So, I like what you're saying with that, with what you like to. So, it was really born out of, sounds like helping people is what you're really after there, because it sounds like if you can get them the right benefits, if you can get them in the right cost-effective ways of doing certain things, that's how you help a small business like me. I'm not quite a small business. I'm more of a non-profit-y, just want to keep the lights on kind of guy. I just want to be able to record my shows and have more shows. So
right,
I'm not
right.
really after making a profit necessarily, but hey, maybe somewhere in the future I can turn it into merchandise and stuff like that. But that's my end goal. My end goal is to help people like you connect with other people. So
Uh-oh, uh-oh. Yes, hold on.
I
I'm
guess
having
you have.
some challenges here. Hold on, technical challenges here. So, where my heart is, when I got started in the industry, I started with a company called Revolution Financial Management. That's still where my heart is. Just helping families learn about money and how money works, because that impact's not just going to affect that individual, but generation after generation. And what I love about it is that it's a more personable approach when I sit down. I told you my business is, there's two sides to it. There's the B2B and the B2C. What I love about what I do with the B2B is that I can empathize with business owners. I've been there. I've had employees. I'm in the state of California, which is a highly regulated state. The business owners are overtaxed, overregulated. And then how do you navigate in that environment? I've been there. I've been there and still navigating. So I come from a place of empathy and a place of experience, and I can give um, just a perspective of being a business owner and being able to offer strategies that I believe that are going to actually help them achieve their goals. When I sit down with their employees, that's the business owner. When I sit down with their employees on the benefit side, I'm able to provide a service there and help them. But I feel that that's just a piece of the puzzle that's going to help them get financial protection and help them achieve their financial goals. You know, health insurance, I don't know if you're aware of it, that it was something like 72% of all bankruptcies are due to medical expenses, and the majority of those people had medical insurance. And so when I see that I can actually protect the family from possible bankruptcy, because I'm giving them, you know, providing them with a service of medical insurance and supplemental, I think that's great. But that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. How then do you protect them 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 15 years from now? I can't do that with just benefits. I can do that by sitting down with them and helping them, you know, achieve their financial goals and bringing in strategies to do that. How I help the entrepreneur, the entrepreneur, or the, what do you call it, solopreneur, like you and a lot of other, you know, a lot of us that that are following our dreams and our passion. And they, you know, I don't know if you, let me back up a little bit. Are you familiar with, have you read the book Cash Flow Quadrants by Robert Kiyosaki?
No, I'm sorry, I'm not I don't read a lot of that kind of stuff, but I've written some of my own stuff. I read a lot of Shakespeare and sci-fi fantasy stuff. I don't always read a lot of that stuff, but
I love that too. I'm a language arts major, so I love that too. But I think for entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, business owners, that was an eye opener for me, because I learned that I thought I had a business, but what I realized is that I was self-employed. And so when I started my business, I put everything into my business. I put sweat equity, I put all my finances, I put everything, basically all my eggs in one basket, believing that that was going to pay off, that was going to give me financial freedom, financial delivery. But when 2008 hit, I'm sure you realize what happened there. I was not prepared, Josh, financially on the business side or the personal side. And so I didn't have a floor at all to catch me. And so I was just holding on for dear life to just wait for this, to ride this storm out. And so so what I bring to the table for business owners and entrepreneurs is that, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs know how they follow the same journey that I did, whereas they jump in, they put in their sweat equity, they put all their, you know, financial equity into a business. But and then they, at some point when they start making money, they think that they're on the road to success. But what happens is when you get those hiccups like COVID-19 that shuts down the whole company, a whole country, or when you get 9/11 or any other crazy event that happens in our country or around the world, if you don't have the proper foundation, then you find yourself, you know, really struggling to stay afloat, like a lot of small business owners did when COVID hit and the shutdown. I mean, some of them are just gone. But the one thing that I do know how to show business owners is how to create wealth. You know, they can make the money, but a lot of entrepreneurs do not know how to create wealth. And that is one area that I know that I can work with business owners and solopreneurs to achieve. So
you're exactly like a lot of the people that I really want to get out there and put out into the world. I think not only someone like me can benefit from that, but just someone who's not only following their dreams, but honestly wants to not only follow their dreams, but help people at the same time.
right.
And if part of my profits go towards certain things that I hold passionate and I know give back to the community, even though I'm not physically able to go stand in rain for hours on end, I can help give those people support and those people the backing. Like when here in Minneapolis, Black Lives moment happened for us, you know, I was all behind all of that stuff because I felt like I couldn't relate to that situation, but I could empathize with what happened to that. It could happen to one of us if I had been born with a different colored skin. And it's like, it shouldn't have happened, you know. So like this is one of those things where we're just getting into the Juneteenth is coming up and all this other stuff is coming up, but we have to, you know, just band together sometime. So I
Yes,
really appreciate people like you who go out of their way to not only make benefits like Affleck, because at one time my wife is a cancer survivor. If that were to ever return, at the time when we were more employed and could afford an Affleck policy, we were guaranteed if she were to ever relapse for whatever reason, that those bills and expenses would be covered. Not on top of that, all of the other things we might have to worry about that during that time of relapse too. So I did see the benefit of it at the time. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep it at the time. So I had to
I
wait for
see.
the future. I would like to get that on top of what
You
I
know,
had. So I did see the benefit of it. And from what I'm
there's
hearing
definitely
from
a
the business
benefit.
standpoint,
No, I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that. So, and a lot of
so
other. Can you hear me? We're having a
yep.
like a lapse, and sometimes it's like an echo. So forgive me if I'm speaking over you. So, but yes,
There's those evil people trying to stop my evil plan.
Just beat them up, Josh. Just go and just beat somebody up and tell them to stop
Yeah.
trying to mess up your plan to
Well,
take
I know
over.
they're not the only ones here right now trying to stop my evil plan. I know this part of this
What?
where
No,
you come on to the
so,
show for your real reason here to stop my evil plan.
okay, now so I know this is you're here to interview me, but let me find out a little bit about you. So what is that emblem that you just held up?
Okay, so this is my spell book that I've created for my evil plan. My evil plan is to destroy the world all at once, so we all go to heaven all at once, and I get to go to hell forever and ever and ever, but everyone else gets to go to heaven, basically. This is just how I go about doing that. That's my backup plan in case the people can't convince me like you to come onto my show and convince me, but we can save the world and start destroying it.
You are crazy.
Yes, I am.
So okay, so
But
no, go
well, I
ahead.
have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, my question is for you. This is what I ask all of my guests. If you could save the world in one thought, in one momentous moment, how would you save the world? If you could do it right now, how would you do it?
Save the world? Well, first of all, realistically, you're talking about realistically save the world.
In any way you see that fit, magically, just
I tell
like you
you
said,
how I
realistically in
am
the
saving
realistic
the
world.
I tell you how I am saving the world. One individual, one family at a time. If you can impact, the beauty behind relationships and people is that just pouring into one person. I don't know. Are you familiar with a gentleman named Ed Milet? I
A
don't know
tiny
if
bit.
you know who Ed Milet is. He was sharing a story about his father, and this is public, but he grew up with an alcoholic father who, and I'm gonna tell you how we are saving the world, and just had a rough childhood and whatnot. And one person, a lot of times we believe that all of the negative experiences in our life, all of the failures and the challenges that we have disqualify us from helping other people. And so I was at a kind of like a not webinar yesterday, and he just reminded me of how all of our failures and our experiences and our adversity and how we overcome all this basically qualifies us to be able to pour into other people. And he said that somebody poured into his father and believed in his father, and his father overcame, I don't know if that's the right word, alcoholism. He was sober for many, many years, and just became a different person. And just what that one person did to impact his father impacted the whole family, and then impacted Ed Milet so much. And Ed has impacted thousands and thousands of people as a mentor. He's one of my mentors. He mentors presidents and there's a lot of people that reach out to him. But you impact people that's how you impact people. You focus on one, you make an impact on that person, and you don't know how much impact that will impact that person's life to be able to influence other people. And so I see how, could I have an ambitious plan to go out and snap my fingers and make things happen and change the world? Yeah, that's dreaming. But what I see that's really happening is that when people really stop and start caring for other people and pour into just one person, and that one person turns around and shows love and compassion to another person, that in turn, the trickle effect is how we overcome and impact and save the world. And
Yeah.
what the beauty behind that is that it's a lasting effect. You can go and talk to masses, but when you make those relationships, build genuine relationships through empathy, through compassion, that's where you start seeing the world change. And so how do I plan to impact the world? One is, one of my goals is, as an entrepreneur, is to help others who are on that journey to become entrepreneurs. I have a team of people
Right.
that I'm building. I'm looking for people who are looking for a business opportunity, who are looking for entrepreneurship, looking for mentorship, and those that are just hungry enough to really want to put the work in to change their life, their family's life. um, that's how I start. Find those that are looking for that opportunity, and then I invest in them and I pour into them, and in turn they develop something that's going to pour into somebody else, and then before you know it, you see a different world, because a genuinely different world, not no superficial crap. um so that's how I plan to take over the world, is keep doing what I'm doing, but just stretch my net further, and bring other people along with me as I make my way up to success.
Yeah, cool. That's kind of that's what I'm all about here, is exactly what you're talking about. It's reaching out into my community, even with a little I can do, even if it's just my neighbors next door. It's impacting them sometimes, that impacts the other people, that impacts the other people. That really makes this whole world really work. If we can all just learn to do that a little bit better, then this would work a whole lot better, a whole lot smoother. If we could learn how to do a tiny bit of more for others, if that next person passes that on and
Exactly.
everyone does that, the best thing, it comes back to the person who initially started it, eventually get that back in return.
Right.
So
No,
I
I agree.
completely agree with that 100%.
You know what, Josh, what I found is that that's actually happening in our world right now. But you know what, though? You don't hear about those stories. You don't hear about the positive impacts, that the positive impact that people are having on others' lives, because it's feel good news. Bad news and crap news makes news. um what we're talking about doesn't make money, so you're not going to hear it in the news, you're not going to hear it online. Doesn't make money, doesn't attract drama, attracts people to it. The only way you're going to hear about it is surround yourself with people who are actually out there making this happen. Like, I wouldn't know that this was happening until I surrounded myself with people who are actually out there wanting to make an impact with other people. Does that make sense? So you're
Yep.
not going to hear there's a lot of good that's happening in the world, but you're not going to hear it on the news. You're not going to see it on, you might see, and I think that when, for me, what I do is I filter what it is that I see, hear, taste. I filter my mind, and I make sure um that I surround myself with things that are going to give me a stronger mindset, that's going to give me you know clearer lens, not be tainted by the media, not be tainted by the negativity that's out there. There's a lot of good that's going out there, and that gives me hope. But I think a lot of people don't hear about those stories, and they don't feel like they have a sense of purpose and hope. And so, and that's the
They're
sad thing. So
far between, because you do hear of them every once in a while, but they're too few, too not enough reported. If we switch to paid more attention to the good stories instead of the bad, that might embolden us to do better things.
well, and we
So I
can't wait
agree.
around. Right. We can't wait around for the media or anybody else to get the word out there. So it's up to us to be that vessel, to get out there and talk to more people and let them know there is good. And so that's why it's got to start with individuals, because it's not going to happen, not going to happen in the government, it's not going to happen in the news, not going to happen on social media. It's got to happen person to person. So that's my take on all that.
Yeah. I agree. Well, I really want to thank you for being here today, a part of the J.A.W.show. I really appreciate you coming and being interviewed today. You were a wonderful interview, and I want to say thank you very much for joining us here today. If they want to get in touch with you, you're on Facebook. They can find you there too.
Yes, they can. And so they can find me as Stacy Kinoshita. You can find me also under Small Business Resource SLK. You can find me on LinkedIn. So there's different ways that you can find me. Just if you reach out to me, I'd be happy to connect with you. If you're a business owner that's looking for resources to bring to your business, or just even wonder if it's what I do is a good fit for you, connect with me. And if you're looking for a business opportunity, if you're looking for a way to create wealth, you're looking for a way to change your life and your family's life, connect with me. If what I do is not a good fit, I love to just still build that relationship around people who still have that same mindset of wanting to always become a better version of themselves, always improve the world, always make a positive impact on community and the people that they meet. So I appreciate you, Josh, for inviting me, and I look forward to seeing other interviews on your show, and we will be in touch.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. All right. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.